This NFL DFS Week 8 Picks edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog has just added Pick'em Scorchers, where you can win 100x. Plus, every Sunday, they're giving away $100,000. Use promo code SGPN, Underdog Fantasy, for a 100% deposit bonus up to $500. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. Plus, the NBA is back, and so is the NBA Gambling Podcast. To celebrate, we're giving away a NBA Gambling Podcast hoodie. Just head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NBA Dog for all the details. Welcome, everyone, to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green, with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. We have arrived in Vegas, Sean.
Yes, out here in beautiful Las Vegas at the Blue Wire Studios at the Wynn Las Vegas Resorts and Casino. Perfect way to kick off our doubleheader Friday. We got this show, a.k.a. the DFS Picks show, and then for the late night crowd, 9 o'clock VSiN Sports Gambling Podcast Live. We'll be heading over to Circa. We'll be talking to our buddy Derek Stevens. We'll be chopping it up, I'm sure, talking Circa Survivor, NFL picks. We're going to be giving out more of our first touchdown, anytime touchdown, last touchdown, our paper ticket parlay for Sunday. So just so much action. Right?
I feel like you got to play the construction music. Is it? You got it going on over there?
I don't think I have the construction sound effect.
Maybe a saw sound effect, a hammer. Do we have the sound of a ladder?
This is the official ladder sound effect. And if you missed it, it was ladders galore last night on the Props podcast. Kyle P., who says he's currently listening. He's in the YouTube chat while also listening to the Prop Show, saying, quote, "I gotta say, as a guy who owns his own painting company, I sure love all this ladder and paint talk on the show." Shout out to you. Yeah, gave out a bunch of player props so that we were laddering. We've been all in on this laddering idea where you just keep going up and up on the player prop totals.
Scaffolding is in the – I do like the
Ryan
idea.
Did debut scaffolding.
Maybe the paint mixer can be something where you put the that I feel like this is someone isolate this and turn it into a GIF, please.
Yeah, we need to work on a paint mixer sound effect here for the Sports Gambling Podcast. Ryan, got a lot to get to. Going to be giving out our DFS lineup before we give that out. You know, football, Vegas, they pair perfectly together, almost as good as Little Caesars pairs perfectly with the National Football League. Little Caesars is the official pizza sponsor of the NFL, and we are officially huge fans of pretzel crust pizza. Pretzel crust nation, stand up. Shout out to the guy in the YouTube chat who changed his name to Pretzel Crust Pete. Pete, hit us up, podcast at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. We got to get you a SGPN gift card so you can rock some SGPN merch while enjoying your Little Caesars pretzel crust pizza with that pepperoni piled so high. Oh, man, I cannot wait till Sunday. But really, you can have Little Caesars anytime. But you order online during our Pizza pregame, 1 hour before and 3 hours after NFL kickoffs, plus all day Sunday. Get ready for football and fun. I got a free pepperoni pizza coupon sitting in my inbox. Can't wait to cash that in. Little Caesars, just love it. And if you don't know, Little Caesars now delivers as well, convenient delivery or their in-store pizza portal pickup. Grab some friends, enjoy a few slices during the game. Get some of those cookie dough brownies, Little Caesars wings. You cannot go wrong. Little Caesars, pizza. Kramer, are we going to win $1 million this week in our DFS lineups?
It feels like we're positioned for it. Some would say we're due.
It is funny on the Southwest flight. Ryan and I, we get the good boarding seats, so we're on the window and aisle, and it being a full flight, there's just random dude sitting in the middle, and then Ryan's like reaching over, he's like, look at this, this very well could be the $1 million lineup, or just any injury news, just immediately points it over to me.
The guy recognized that I was trying to get your attention, even tapped your arm for you.
I felt bad. I got the noise canceling headphones on.
Well, and then even before that, when we're in the good line, the A1 through 30 line on Southwest. And we were talking about building our DFS lineups. And, of course, the guy next to us feels like it's a good time to let us know about his 2 managed leagues he's in.
I picked up Deonta Foreman 20 minutes before kickoff. Really, that's 34 points, really.
Would love to be in that league. Would love to be in a league where you can just
pick up Deonta Foreman. Minutes before kickoff.
He embarrassed himself. He didn't even realize it. Talking to 2 professionals.
He told on himself. Like, what kind of league are you in that Deonta Foreman's just hanging around on the waiver wire right before kickoff?
And I don't know if you noticed what I did, Sean. I did the whole let me relate to this normie.
Yeah.
Where I said, the backup might get more involved this week. Not talking about Roscoe Johnson. I didn't want to use names because I knew he would. No way he would have known who. I didn't want to make him feel stupid.
And Roscoe Johnson,
I think it's Roshan.
Okay, he has clear concussion protocol.
Yes.
In our high stakes managed league. Speaking about boring people with your managed league talk.
Oh, do we have a decision to make?
Are we still going to play Deonta Foreman? I think he's still going to be involved. Like, how can you not? The guy had 3 touchdowns.
He had a very good week. Our decision, essentially, we started Mike Evans, got bailed out a little bit. Although
thanks for that touchdown.
Based on the internet, I think we were screwed out of a yard on that one play on the last drive of the game. But anyway, AJ Brown is locked in.
Yes,
and
awesome.
Our running backs are Raheem Mostert and Saquon Barkley, and so it comes down to Garrett Wilson or Deonta Foreman. I always default to receivers, but that's just me. It is a good matchup.
I do like Garrett Wilson this week.
Yeah, so are we benching Deonta Foreman? The guy at the airport wants to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go Garrett Wilson,
Benched.
right?
We'll talk about it again on the pregame show. 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern on Sunday. You want more? Fantasy guys going live, 8 a.m. Pacific.
Oh, yes. We have the extended pregame because of the Germany game.
Wait. I didn't even is that this? No, that's next week.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, I'm on top of these things. We may have a pregame show live from Europe. We can no longer tout that it's in the same country, but we can say we'll have one live from Europe. But yeah, and then before this weekend, if you want more, Moonoff and some unidentified co-host will be live at 7 a.m. Pacific on the NFL Gambling Podcast.
Let's go, baby.
I just did the math, Sean. That's
a lot of pregame
150
content.
minutes plus. We usually go a little long of pregame content. SGPN. All right. I got a number of lineups.
So do I. I've been tinkering a little bit on the plane as well, getting locked in.
Which fun hack if you're outside of a legal state for DFS, which it still blows my mind that you can't play DFS in Nevada.
Yeah.
But if you are outside,
of all the things you can legally, you can take a giant machine gun into the desert, make love to a prostitute, and fire that machine gun off while not being able to play daily fantasy football.
Yes.
Come on, Nevada, get it together.
So the question becomes, or the hack is, you just build a lineup. Don't enter it in a contest. Scroll to the bottom of the homepage. Just choose select create lineup only. Then you can build as many lineups as you want out of country. All right, so I have 5 quarterbacks to choose from.
Ooh.
2 of them are named Sam. What do you think? Should I go
Sam Bradford?
Sam Bradford is not one of them.
Let's let the I always like including the chat. Chat, what lineup do you want to hear from Ryan? Do you want to hear one based on
good quarterback? Just say good quarterback, bad quarterback.
Good QB, bad QB. Shout out to Michael Brock saying, a little early in the day to jerk off to pretzel crust ad reads, but here we are.
That's another level.
I love pretzel crust. We won't be sending that part of the program to Little Caesars, although I'm sure they appreciate the passion. ZD Mills, Michael Brock, bad QB. Got to hear the Darnold lineup. Bad QB, Sam Darnold. Slinging Sammy Darnold, Ryan. Unload this lineup for the good folks.
All right. I'll Sam Darnold it is. By the way, the other Sam was Sam Howell. And it had a double bring back.
So wait, which one? I mean, I feel like I have them pretty closely ranked as quarterbacks.
What do you mean?
Was Sam Darnold the bad quarterback?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, definitely. All right, so we're dropping Sam Darnold in. Of course, everyone already knows this, but I do hold Sam Darnold comeback player of the year and MVP tickets.
Oh, love it. Love hearing Sam Darnold.
And I love Cincinnati catching the points this weekend. So it's I'm in a real difficult spot. Sam Darnold, he's only $4,300. He's going to operate.
That's insane for a starting quarterback.
One of the most efficient quarterbacks, or one of the most efficient offenses in football, against a defense that kind of made their name in dropping back and letting you do stuff in front of them, and hopefully having some pressure. So I think when you lean into this now, stay tuned to see how I structure this build, Sean. But 4,300 on your quarterback gives you some maximum flexibility elsewhere. Let's go.
$4,300 is insanely cheap for a starting quarterback. I'm going relatively cheap outside of the top 5 here. My boy, Matty Stafford. I think this. I just keep looking at this matchup. I just keep looking at the weakness on the back end of the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, we saw Brock Purdy tear them up. Why? Because they have George Kittle. And I think in some ways, the type of routes that Puka Nacua, Tutu Atwell, Cooper Kupp all run over the middle of the field, I think they're really going to struggle. Like, these injuries have really – I'm trying to step away from my insane hatred of the Dallas Cowboys, but I think the injuries on the defensive side of the Cowboys –
You're doing a great job, Sean. I'm very convinced this is completely objective handicapping.
Okay. Well,
I'm not being – this isn't a bit. I'm being serious.
I don't know where the bit begins and ends sometimes with Ryan, but the Cowboys defense just isn't the same. I understand some of the advanced stuff looks good, but the Rams, I think, regardless of game script, are going to have to throw the ball a ton of times. That's why I think if you listen to the prop show, I think the Tutu Atwell ladder is alive and well. I think Kupp's going to get his. But, yeah, I mean, let's just start it off with Matthew Stafford, $6,600. I think Sean McVay scheming up against Mike McCarthy in the same way we saw Kyle Shanahan scheme the shit out of that 49ers team and roast the Cowboys. I think we could see a similar thing with this Rams team. I think they're going to outplay them.
I like a good anti-Cowboys handicap. You convinced me. I think I might have to build a Stafford lineup. I haven't. He's what, 4th most expensive though? Isn't that wild?
City Slacks in the YouTube chat saying, FYI, Purdy is on pace to play this weekend. Now, I saw what you saw, that he was limited in practice. However, people who have been put into the concussion protocol have not played the same week this entire season. So, and he has one less day to clear because it was on Monday night. So if Brock Purdy clears, it would be the first time out of 100 people or something that he has cleared.
It would be the first time this season that anyone has made it back within one. Now, he didn't leave the game. So when did the process start? Do we know? I didn't actually dive in deeply.
No, he didn't get checked during the game. So it didn't start until Monday night or Tuesday morning.
It seems he is maybe the smartest guy to ever go into the new concussion protocol based on what everyone says about him. But yeah, I don't think I'm actually operating like there's no chance he plays.
Well, City Slacks is saying Matt Barrows on X is saying Brock Purdy is practicing for the 2nd straight day and barring a setback is on pace to be cleared from the concussion program tomorrow.
Should I cancel this build?
No. If you're worried about it, but I would still be pretty surprised if he plays.
It would be the first time, right?
Yeah.
All right. I'll play the odds. Don't worry. I'll put out at least 3 lineups on social. At least 3 lineups coming out for me. Running back, obvious. Christian McCaffrey, 9,200. You play him till he's 10K. He's not 10K. And if it is Darnold, I expect there to be a heavy dose of McCaffrey against the Cincinnati defense that allows you to get going with the running game. We saw this with your Rams. If you want to keep it there, they kind of didn't get to it, and then Kyron Williams had some good go. But that was probably the thing they missed most in that matchup, and in general, the thing that other teams have had some success with. So McCaffrey, no real handicap needed, 9,200. First of the stacks with Sammy D.
Yeah, I mean, Christian McCaffrey, hard to – yeah, how do you go against him? Even with the oblique, He's still just going to get a ton of work, ton of volume,
full practice
involved in the receiving game.
I mean, I know I shouldn't believe these injury reports because they're basically tabloids at this point.
The only injury report you can trust is me. I ruled out Daniel Jones on Wednesday afternoon. Now some New York hack beat reporters are ruling him out today on Friday.
Yeah.
I was skeptical Andrew Thomas was going to play. I'm now ruling out Andrew Thomas.
Wow.
I'm really plugged into the Giants run.
Wow, it is interesting how concerned you are with the Giants injury report.
Well, I might be getting down on the Jets. We were playing the Jets in our Circle Millions contest.
I dare you to lay points with Zach Wilson against Wink Martindale. I'm just going to be so obnoxious during this game.
Accepted.
I'm going to be so obnoxious during this game, Sean.
Jonathan Taylor. I'm taking Jonathan Taylor, $6,200 at home. I like the progression of Jonathan Taylor so far in the games he's been back. You look at his numbers, he keeps getting more and more carries, more and more involved. He's even involved in the receiving game. He went from 6 carries to 8 to 18 last week, 75 yards, a touchdown, 3 catches. I understand you look at the metrics for Saints, and their defense should be good, but man, I test it really didn't seem like that against the Jags at home. Now they're coming off long rest, but yeah, I think this game, even though New Orleans should have a better defense, this game has, I think it could also be kind of a wonky, high-scoring game like we saw with the Browns. So I think Jonathan Taylor, I think he's going to get 20-plus touches, and I like that. I like the chances at 6,200 to really come home in a big way.
Sorry, I was just reading up on what is being reported. It doesn't seem like this is anything more than people speculating. Kyle Shanahan has not commented on it.
Okay.
And the CTE folks out there are saying you got to rest him. You can't risk another concussion because he looked really bad after the concussion. It was more of a fan take. Running back 2, again, this is maybe one that I'll have to change later in the week. Zach Charbonnet, 4,300.
Yeah, what's the latest with the K9?
I believe, and I hadn't seen an update today, but he wasn't practicing due to a calf injury.
Yeah, that's not good.
There's some messaging in the beat reporter realms for the Seahawks that this could be a Charbonnet game. He's completely healthy off the injury report. You know, Pete Carroll has all these running backs, so we can use the healthy one. I like the idea of firing on him in a Millie Maker lineup here, 4,300. I wonder if he'll catch some steam if the news gets more public.
Now, what about do we go to the next level, Ryan? Do we consider a guy like DJ Dallas, maybe not even DFS, but maybe like a DJ Dallas anytime touchdown, something like that? Is that getting too off the grid? Because his DJ Dallas's price is almost the same as Zach Charbonnet. The only reason I would play DJ Dallas is if Walker's ruled out before the game, I do think Charbonnet will catch a lot of ownership. So maybe that's why you play DJ Dallas, a little zag there, but any value in DJ Dallas?
Charbonnet's a 3-down back. DJ Dallas is going to get worked in some
He just randomly seems to like DJ Dallas.
He likes the way that he blocks. They trust him. So there could be a situation where he's out there for some stuff, but I don't think you play him. I think that's getting a little bit too cute. But to your point, maybe you look at him in a first touchdown if you really want to. I wonder if they're even dangling. This is probably one of the markets they're not. Oh, they do have it up. So Charbonnet is already down to 11-1 on the first touchdown market.
Oh, okay.
Kenneth Walker 4-1, which tells me everything you need to know. They're not going to move Walker's price, obviously. Charbonnet dropping this low means they expect him to be out there. DJ Dallas 16-1. So they're just completely slashing any fun we can have.
16-1. Come on.
Let us have fun.
Give us 25-1.
Listen,
let's roll the dice.
If I'm renting a jet ski in Mexico, I want to have fun with it. Don't tell me the rules.
Don't tell me I got to wear a life jacket.
And I'll come back when I want to come back.
Renting stuff in other countries is pretty funny. All right. Hey, just do whatever.
Yeah, I can't speak Spanish. Sorry. I didn't understand you said 30 minutes.
3 minutos.
That's how people run out of gas in the middle of the ocean on a jet ski off the coast of Cancun. All right. That was RB2 for me, Sean.
RB2.
Charbonnet.
Like a fine wine, Ryan. He is ready to be. He's ready to be drunk. Give me Breece Hall, $5,900 going up against your Giants. I mentioned him on the prop show. Giants have a knack for giving up explosive running plays. I think, 31st in the league at allowing rushing plays of more than 10 yards. Breece Hall has looked really healthy, very explosive. I think if you're the Jets, you're trying to take the ball out of his hands. I mean, look at now. I do think the Giants' defense, to your credit, has been playing better than certainly the Broncos. But against the Broncos, 22 for 177 and a touchdown. Kind of had a quiet game against the Eagles, 12 for 39. Maybe he slipped under the radar. I think people will certainly be playing some of his props and stuff. But at this price, Breece Hall feels like a steal, 5,900.
I mean, again, just completely, that was not an objective take. That was not an objective take.
What do you mean? Chat, help me out. Breece Hall is a good play this week.
Okay.
I think the only reason you can say don't play Breece Hall is because everyone's going to be on him.
I think the Giants are going to have a very good plan cooked up for this offense. They are terrified of Zach Wilson blowing games for them. You don't think Wink Martindale is going to be able to break those pipes? Come on, Sean.
What pipes are you talking about?
If you take out his 3 long, 70-plus yard runs, he's averaging 3.6 yards a carry.
Well, I'm not going to take out those 3 long runs because the Giants are good at giving up long runs, and part of the handicap is I think he's going to get a long run.
Yeah, you're.
So why would I get rid of 3 awesome plays?
You're reliant on that big run.
Yeah.
All right.
Boom bust. We're talking GPPs. I'm trying to win $1 million. I'm not trying to play the guy with the most yards per carry.
You don't want. You're planning on winning $1 million.
That is the plan. That's why I entered the contest.
All right.
I didn't enter to get second place. I already did that.
You did that once. Yeah, that's true. All right.
Pretty awesome.
Bring back Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
No need to get cute here. Premium. Higgins is 5,900. I could have, had some extra money to do some stuff. Maybe. Doesn't matter. Jamar Chase, 8,100. Burrow, fully healthy. Seeing the reports. Very excited. This is it. Bengals plus 3.5 also. Love that.
Well, now it looks like the line is moving to 4. Maybe off the Purdy news, people are getting down on the 49. I love it at 4. I even saw some 4.5s. I'm intrigued to see what the circa has it at when we get over there.
The expectation that it will go back to 5.5, where it was before we knew of this mysterious concussion.
So if Brock Purdy plays through a concussion and you're getting 5 points, 5.5, I like that as much as in some ways, maybe a healthier Sam Darnold at 3.5.
So here's the way you galaxy brain your way into this. You could argue he is more reliant on his brain than any other quarterback.
All jokes aside, Brock Purdy's best ability is processing. I think he matches well with the Shanahan system because he can process quickly, get the ball to the right guys. If he's even a hair slow, if he's even dealing with a hair of brain fog, I think he's going to be in trouble.
I mean, Yeah, I don't understand how he is somehow going to be the first guy to get through the concussion protocol. Scot-free.
I'm very skeptical. Ryan, friendly reminder: this episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Love BetterHelp as a sponsor because they're helping people. They're helping people get to therapy easier. Therapy helps you figure out what's holding you back. I mean, and we just talked about the brain. It's the most important muscle in your body. And if it's not working right, if it's working against you, why hold yourself back? Why not optimize yourself? Get your best brain ever. Maybe you're dealing with an issue at work, grief, family stuff. There's so many reasons why it's beneficial to talk to someone. If you're thinking of starting therapy, if you're like, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, give it a shot. BetterHelp makes it really easy to try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. They make it easy for you. They take away all the excuses of why you don't want to go to therapy. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time, no additional charge. Make your brain your friend with BetterHelp. Build a better brain. Visit BetterHelp.com/SGPN today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/SGPN. If I'm playing Matthew Stafford, you know I got to be playing Cooper Kupp. Love Cooper Kupp in this situation. Coming off a game where he only had 2 catches? What are we talking about? This is the ultimate get-right spot for Cooper Kupp. I couldn't even find – I think in the – I was
What's
trying –
his price?
Now, his price, Ryan, as we've discussed, is only I think it was $9,500 last week.
Yep.
Dropped all the way down to $9,000 because he had one bad game, that's a pretty big price correction.
I'm just checking my model here. Oh, nope, still says play till 10,000.
He's had 3 games. Last week was a bit of a dud, 2 for 29. Before that, 7 for 148 and a touchdown, and then 8 for 118.
Yeah, there's not
Who's
much.
covering him on the Cowboys?
That's a great question.
I think the book is out on how to beat that Cowboys secondary. And you saw Justin Herbert had a ton of opportunities. Keenan Allen. I mean, look at what the Chargers did. Don't worry, they chargered it in the worst way.
Don't worry about what happened.
No, you know what I mean. Like they completely blew that game, but there were so many opportunities to throw against that Cowboys team in that game. And so, I mean, Keenan Allen was wide open multiple times. A lot of it was just Herbert missing guys.
I mean, we have to come up with a nickname for Herbert, like something fraud related. Frobert. That's not very good. All right.
Hack.
You've given out your receiver 1.
Yes.
But we're giving out premium elite receivers this week. Receiver 2. I asked you on the plane out here. I wanted to get into the Washington-Philly game. I know it's a divisional game, but I think there's going to be some fireworks again. Philly, A.J. Brown's been the guy. I'm going to fire on Smith here. Devonta Smith, 6,700. He's only 1,300 less than A.J. Brown, so I wonder how that ownership will work itself out. I would imagine most people will try to get up to A.J. Brown because he's been so much better. At some point, you just got to tell yourself we're going to take this guy out of the game, and I know I'm relying on Washington to try to do that. But if they do that, Goddard, I even have a lineup with Julio Jones. Sean, I would real punt play, double bring back for the Sam Howell lineup.
Wow, Julio Jones, $3,200. If you're needing
Devonta Smith, 6,700. I think the volume will be here this week. I wonder about Jalen Hurts' health, but this injury report tells me he's not injured, so I have to believe it. Devonta Smith, 6,700.
Full participant in practice, Ryan, and as you know, that's all they're required to disclose to the league or to their opponents. You want to maintain a competitive advantage, and I like Devonta Smith. I did a different lineup with Jalen Hurts where I played Devonta Smith, didn't play A.J. Brown. In this lineup, I am playing A.J. Brown. This is the chalkier of my lineups, but I mean, A.J. Brown is going off at an insane level. He already has 809 receiving yards. If you look at his Offensive Player of the Year odds, I gave him out preseason at 50-1. I think he's down to like 10-1 in the awards market. I'll pull up the exact price, but it's now 5 games in a row with over 125 yards receiving. And I mentioned it on the prop show, but and I think on the pick show, Washington Commanders lead the league in giving up big receiving plays of over 50 yards. I think it might be an AJ game, it might be a Devonta game. To your point, Devonta has really been quiet this season. I think they're going to work him in. So yeah, give me AJ Brown, $8,000. And sorry, correction, he's 20-1, but still nice adjustment pre-flop from 50-1.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, the defenses have to adjust what they're doing. It does seem
But do the Commanders have the secondary to do that? They benched their first-round pick, Emmanuel Forbes.
A lot of it is just double team. Like, I saw it. Like, A.J. Brown sees the fewest amount of double teams of any of the elite receivers. And I think that, like...
Well, and I think that's why it's tough to double team because of Devonta Smith, Goddard...
But Devonta Smith's double team rate is similar to A.J. Brown's this year. It's wild. Anyway, all right. And I didn't look that up. That was sourced for someone on the internet. So yell at them if I'm wrong. All right, next up, we got the stack. Terry McLaurin. We heard CJ, man of the box, Sullivan, touting the scary Terry prop.
Ooh, spooky.
On the prop show. 5,300. He seemed pretty fired up when he made the catches against the Giants last week. He only had a couple, but they were down the field. I do think the Eagles will give him some opportunities to make some catches, and just based on the chirping this week, seems like the team I don't want to say they might be playing for Ron Rivera, but they do seem to be.
They like Ron Rivera?
They do seem to be focused on playing hard this week for not just we're playing a divisional rival, but maybe there's a little bit more being said behind the curtain about what would happen if they got a loss here. And so specifically, if you go watch Terry McLaurin's availability this week, he seems locked in. So, honestly, like where else are you going to stack this game? I thought about Logan Thomas and a 2 tight end set because the Eagles. I would imagine Logan Thomas will be somewhat popular this week because the Eagles have been trash against the tight end.
Yeah.
But McLaurin 5,300 stacked up that Eagles-Redskins game.
Well, I guess I would just warn you, Ryan. Our secondary has been getting healthy. Reed Blankenship back. And Byard is expected to play a bunch this Sunday. So probably our healthiest, best version of the secondary going to be squaring off against Sam Howell come Sunday.
They just have so many opportunities because they'll quit on the run and they just sling the rock. Like he's going to have 2 or 3 interceptions.
Yeah,
but he's going to keep trying.
Well, I mean, look at the second half of that Bears game. If that game script goes similar, where the Eagles get out to a lead. And maybe do play a little soft and kind of sit back. There could be a certain little run there for Sammy Howell. Shout out to the people checking in on the Sports Gambling Podcast from the Wynn Studio.
Looking like a big scary Terry fan out there.
What's DFS? We're not allowed to enjoy that here.
Yeah, we're breaking the laws in here.
Don't mind us. Tutu Atwell, I mentioned him on the Ladder Show. Obviously, I got to play him in.
Pew, pew, pew.
I got to play him. He's massive boom bust guy, big shots left and right. I think back-to-back games where he's had 1 or 2 catches, each for 31 yards. Like, that's all he does. He has 3 touchdowns. I think he has those outburst games. For me, the perfect scenario, DFS, whatever, is that they go out of their way to maybe slow down Puka, Cooper, and Atwell go off. Either way, I just imagine this. The Cowboys are very good against the run, and the Rams running backs are all banged up. Like, I don't even think they're going to try and run the ball much. I wouldn't be surprised Rams throw the ball like 50 times in this game, almost regardless of game script.
You can almost say that, like, it's just McVay when he doesn't have a run. I mean, he's going to try to run a little bit, and then he'll quit on it early on, and it's just going to be – my only concern is that his offenses can really, really concentrate down on targets, and Stafford seems to like those guys more. So.
True, but when he threw 55 times against the 49ers in almost a neutral game script. In part, I would imagine, because the 49ers are pretty good at shutting down the run. 55 attempts, a lot of targets go around, and Tutu seemingly can make the most out of it. So yeah, give me Tutu Atwell, $4,400.
You love Tutu this week.
Yes,
you're gonna be wearing a tutu on the Sunday night show.
Oh, if he cashes big for me, look out, Tutu incoming.
All right, double stack George Kittle. I think he's live for a double touchdown game. 5,400 stacked up with McCaffrey or McCafferty if you like that pronunciation better, and Sammy D. Did a little bit more research while you were talking there. It seems to be that one notable person has said Brock Purdy may come back.
Yes,
that's it. George Kittle 5,400. I would at least hit the hardware store and see what the prices on the George Kittle ladders are. We discussed the his touchdowns being the piece of the scaffolding that brings the yardage and reception ladders together to create that beautiful scaffolding. But, yeah, I'm going to go George Kittle will be chalky this week, I think, one way or another. The Bengals have not been good against the tight end. 5,400. Let's go.
Let's go.
A lot of premium players in this lineup, if you're noticing. You're probably wondering, how did I do this? I bought the extra $10,000 salary.
Could you imagine if DraftKings allowed you to buy like extra salary dollars and pay? It
That's
would blow
the future.
People's mind.
That's like every video game now. Like, oh, you want to be better at the video
purchases.
Game? Give us real money for fake stuff.
I got my tight end coming up. Before we get to that, shout outs, Underdog Fantasy. Man, you like some of these DFS plays we're giving out. You can head over and find some higher lowers on your favorite fantasy players over at Underdog Fantasy. They got you covered. Man, it went 3-0 on some of the props I gave out on the Thursday night show. I had Josh Allen interception, Josh Allen anytime touchdown, Rashad White under. You can take some of these and play higher or lower over on Underdog Fantasy. Best part, you get that 100% deposit bonus up to $100. And we got sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NBA Dog. Got you covered there as well with the NBA Gambling Podcast hoodie contest. 100% deposit bonus up to $500. Underdog Fantasy promo code SGPN. And last but not least, Hall of Fame bets. Man, if you're putting together player prop parlays and you're not using Hall of Fame bets, well, you're wasting your time. I used to dig through all these reference sites, the stat sites. Hall of Fame bets saves you a shit ton of time. It really does. Like the deep stat button, you just see, hey, how many times has Tutu Atwell gone over 84 yards? They give you a percentage. You can do last couple games, go through his entire career instead of like manually sorting and exporting CSV files. You don't know you're doing that. Let the nerds do that. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame bets app or visit HOPBets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching. Start winning with Hall of Fame bets.
I love a good CSV, Sean.
I know, Ryan. I know when I was going after CSV files as a former spreadsheet warrior, although you still are in the spreadsheets. If you go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon, you can get all our picks sheets in beautiful formatted style as Ryan has mastered the craft.
Yeah, I mean, basically, if you're too lazy to listen with your ears,
or don't want to write things down,
then you can go visualize via Google Sheets. And I think we're going to add a special tab. There might be a special tab added for folks who don't catch the VSiN show that maybe are interested in any special additional bets.
Because we do give out some of the other first touchdowns we like, anytime touchdown, and the player prop parlay, the paper ticket parlay.
So in true, we want to be transparent. It is a show, and it is things we're betting on. So we should include it in the sheet.
Yes.
Last thing I have to say, because you reminded me of something else. Oftentimes people say, hey, how can I help you guys out? And I say, well, just go sign up for this thing. Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. Well, then you can't help me out. Flex? Wait, you're on tight end.
I didn't say my tight end, Ryan. I'm going Hayden Hurst for the Carolina Panthers, $2,900. Kind of a one-off here in this spot. I think, I know Houston is pretty bad defending against the tight end. Two, we don't know what we're going to get out of this Carolina Panthers new-look offense. But Hayden Hurst is super reliable. They're bad against the tight end, $2,900. He is the starting tight end. He's the main guy. And we saw he's had a couple spike weeks, not a ton. He's $2,900 for a reason, but he's kind of one of my favorite plays here in the dumpster diving tight end area.
I will say, something I stumbled into as I was going a little too hard on the McVay offense and Thomas Brown, who everyone seems to think is going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, never called plays in a regular season game in his life. And yet he's going to be the savior. That offense doesn't love the tight end all that much, Sean, so be careful there.
Well, should I pivot off this, Ryan? Here are some options. Durham Smythe.
No.
Trey McBride.
Yes.
Trey McBride.
I mean, he's going to get the full workload.
Okay.
He's in a game where they could be losing, could have to pass. He's probably, at worst, the third option behind Hollywood and Moore. At best, he's the second or maybe even first option.
All right.
It's a tougher matchup, but I do think they're going to look to get him loose. I mean, he's been productive in a couple games when he's splitting time with Zach Ertz.
All right. I'm in. Trey McBride. Let's go.
If you're asking me which one of those guys has the best chance to get 10 targets, it's McBride by a mile.
Yeah, you're probably right. All right, Trey McBride.
And if you're looking to stack that game up, don't be afraid to put a Zay Flowers. It's still very affordable. All right, my flex.
Flex on your flex, right?
Double bring back, baby. Double bring back. Give me Tyler Boyd, 4,600. I think a lot of people are going to be on T. Higgins this week at 5,900. He's very cheap. He's very healthy. They're coming off the bye. So I'm going to slide down to professional wide receiver who's also in a contract year.
That was a slot.
Everyone talks about Higgins' contract year. No one talks about Tyler Boyd's contract year. He's closer to the end, too. Only 4,600. We've effectively put 5 of our players in this San Francisco-Cincinnati game. I do think there's a low-key chance this is a game with points. And, if Sam Darnold's not in there, I don't know off the top of my head how I pivot out of this, but we'll find a way. I will say I will also put out a Joe Burrow double stack, double bring back. That's my commitment to the people. Because I feel like I'm getting questioned by one person in the chat about my Sam Darnold lineup, and now I'm not very confident. All right, Sean, who's your flex?
My flex. Ryan, the chat really rattled you. I'm surprised. Usually you stand up to the chat in cyberbullying.
Well, it's just this one guy. When it's all the chat, it's easier to tell them, no, fuck off.
And someone, City Slack is saying Bryce Hall picked by Sean is totally biased and still a good call. Both can be true. Thank you, City Slack. I appreciate your support there. Oh, and JC from KC. Nice haircut, Ryan. Looking sharp.
Thanks. This morning. Got a haircut this morning.
Now, who did the haircut? Was it your wife?
Went to the barber shop.
Really?
AKA my living room.
Okay.
Come on, Sean. I'm not going to go hang out with random strangers just because.
And so does your wife cut your hair? You cut my hair at the office.
The wife. It's a full human centipede of hair cutting. Hopefully one day my oldest daughter can start cutting the hair.
That'll be a proud day.
That would be
in the
dream.
Kramer household.
Yeah, big dream.
Okay, for me, I like the question coming into the fantasy year, or at least one of them was, hey, is who's Patrick Mahomes' guy? Like, who's his receiver that's going to be the guy? We know Kelsey's going to have a big role as always, but who's going to be the guy? In my mind, I think he's already kind of figured out who the guy is, and I think it's Rashee Rice. The rookie has seen his role continue to grow. 59% of the offensive snaps, highest by a full 8% there. Second most targets last game, 5 catches, 60 yards, and a touchdown. There is going to be opportunity against this Denver Broncos team, which he had a good game against Denver, 4 for 72. I think he's out. I think he's set up here for a breakout game. And at some point, maybe the Broncos go, we're not going to let Kelsey beat us. Maybe they adjust. He is a hard guy to shut down, but Rashee Rice really seems to be the guy. And even Kadarius Toney, I feel like, has fallen off, even with the design stuff. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that touchdown they ran, or the touchdown that Rashee Rice scored, I think was a drawn-up touchdown near the goal line.
So, yeah, I was going to say, I saw some deeper analysis on him and why you want to be buying him. And it's all about, like, his ratio of first looks relative, like, if you remove Kelsey from like the tree of receiving options, he dominates the first looks, which means he's off in the second look. Or like you're saying, I don't know if it was drawn up for him, but it definitely seemed like he was like the quick second option. And so, yeah, this happens every year. They kind of try guys out in the season. It's almost like Shaq getting into shape. Yeah. And then by the mids, I mean, last year it was their defensive backfield. They were trying out a bunch of guys. They're all now good. This year it's receivers, and I would say that I still think there's going to be opportunities for MVS to pop up and be the highest scoring receiver just because of the type of stuff he does relative to Rice. But, yeah, I mean, it seems like with Mahomes, if he can trust he knows where you're going to go in the zone, then you become a good option for him. And that's what Rice has become. Got
a question in the chat, Ryan. Billy Baller 2 is wanting to know Tyler Higbee and Devonta Smith or Michael Thomas and Darren Waller. This for me is pretty easy. I would go Tyler Higbee and Devonta Smith. Darren Waller is once again questionable, dealing with that ongoing hamstring. And Michael Thomas.
Relax, Sean. You're going to hurt your injury reputation.
What do you mean?
It's another fake muscle injury.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, it's fake, but I would still.
And it's been groin and hamstring.
Okay, so groin and hamstring.
Yeah, like the previous time he was questionable was groin. So I don't want people to clown you because you're not having the accurate information.
So is he not questionable?
He's questionable this week due to a hamstring.
Okay.
Completely unrelated. He was not questionable last week, so that's the first thing you got wrong.
No, I said he
continued hamstring injury. So this is a new injury.
Oh, this is new. So
this is new.
The hamstring injury he had a few weeks ago was.
He didn't have a hamstring. It was a groin injury. Okay. Yeah. Again, I don't want people to come after you. I'm doing this for your own good.
All right. Yeah. So he is questionable, which I said
he will play.
Okay. I didn't say he wouldn't play. I wouldn't put him in DFS.
He has a great matchup. I would say after Barkley, he's the guy that I would circle is going to have a big game.
I would go Higbee and Devonta Smith. What are you doing, Ryan?
Yeah, I don't love Michael Thomas, but I think Michael Thomas against that Colts defense plus what Darren Waller is going to provide is better than anything we've seen from Higbee and Smith all season. So I think you're getting cute. I mean, if it's DFS, maybe I look to Higbee and Smith. But if it's just your managed league, don't be stupid. Anything else, John?
Yeah, we got our defense.
Oh, everyone loves that part of the program. I have the Burrow lineup ready to tell people just so they don't get mad at me. My defense this week?
Yes.
So I have $2,100. There's three defenses I can play. I can play Denver, I can play New England, and I can play Arizona. And I think I'm going to play Arizona. Gannon,
really?
Attacking style of offense in what should be a game with a little bit of scoring variance. And, you know, as much as Lamar is leading one of the best teams in the NFL, he's doing so with the like yips or whatever Josh Allen has.
He has the fumbling thing.
We know Lamar is really susceptible to illness, and he must have just hung out with Josh Allen.
Fumbleitis.
Caught a little of the Josh Allens. And yeah, he's making some bad decisions throwing the ball, and he's making some bad decisions with the ball security. And again, Gannon's defense, they may not be performing well now, but they're still attacking, and there's still potential for generating plays. And we often see this, right? High scoring games can maybe generate higher scores on the defensive side. So I'm maybe getting cute not playing the Patriots here, but give me the Cardinals 2,100.
Yeah, I only have room for one defense, and it's the New England Patriots.
It's a baby fucking wheel, man.
You could have played the Broncos.
Oh, really? Okay.
They're 2002.
I'm not going to play the Broncos, but the Patriots I like. The Broncos is a division game, but I just haven't seen anything interesting from the Broncos defense. And on the other side, Tua, he is turning the ball over a little bit now. We also understand like the way to get high scoring defenses is turnovers and sacks. So if the Dolphins are throwing the ball a lot, and I think they are going to try and throw the ball a lot, you create more opportunities to get sacks. Now, granted, they don't have Judon or Christian Gonzalez, but I still think in a division game, an opponent, those are the scenarios where you can get some better defensive outcomes. I think they might be able to get to Tua. Tua has had a bunch of games in a row now with the turnover. So I like that as an idea, and maybe they get a defensive touchdown, something like that.
Well, the Giants did score a touchdown against the Dolphins offense, so it's out there. And I think Tua has looked a little bit more like the guy that we made fun of a lot.
Yep.
And now this is the first time he's seeing a team for the second time this season. 6
interceptions so far this season for Tua. And he has only 6 fumbles, only 1 loss. So if you look at kind of, he is running hot on fumble luck. That's crazy. 6 fumbles, only 1 fumble lost. He's due.
It's the judo.
Yeah,
he's learned.
It must be. He's just used to battling it out, getting that ball. So yeah, I got the Pats there for my defense. So recapping my lineup, I got Patriots defense, Rashee Rice in the flex spot, Hayden Hurst, Tutu Atwell, AJ Brown, Cooper Kupp, Breece Hall, Jonathan Taylor, Matty Stafford. 6 to 7 figure win. Here I come, Kramer.
I'm down for that. We can share a 7-figure win.
Okay,
that's 6 figures each.
I want to do a high stakes. One of these high stakes, like couple $100 one that we do on the pregame show. But you seem to be angry with my DFS suggestions.
No. People just say it's the worst segment we do. That's just what I've heard.
Who are people?
Just what I've heard. All right, we can.
Where's this listener feedback?
When we get back to the safe state of California and we can enter DFS again, we will select a contest and we will be building a high stakes.
Yeah, and
can I say? Can it be single entry?
Oh yes.
Single
entry. And the other caveat: the quarterback has to be on one of our locks. So a team that we're already going to be rooting for, one of our Circuit Millions plays. Oh, all right.
We will be building a C.J. Stroud high-stakes lineup.
Right, don't. The ownership will be out of hand.
Sam Darnold, Christian McCaffrey, Zach Charbonnet, Jamar Chase, Devonta Smith, Terry McLaurin, George Kittle, Tyler Boyd, Arizona Cardinals defense. And if you don't believe that Darnold's going to play and you want to play a Burrow lineup instead, like I promised, a double-double, Joe Burrow, McCaffrey, Zach Charbonnet, very similar lineup. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins here went mega. Zay Flowers, George Kittle, Patriots defense. Like I said, a double-double. In the flex, Sean, do you want Rondell Moore or do you want Trey McBride? I like the idea of buying the Rondell Moore dip.
Yeah, I think in a flex you got to play.
All right, let's go.
Receiver.
That's the second lineup. At least one more lineup I'll craft up and put out. On,
tune
Sunday
into
morning.
the pregame show, 9 a.m. Pacific, counting you down to kickoff. We got a bunch of other pregame shows on SGPN leading up to kickoff. And if you're listening to this on Friday night, Sports Gambling Podcast live from Circa Las Vegas. Our VSiN spot, you can get it over on VSiN.com, or if you have YouTube TV, you probably already have VSiN. Put that little subscribe button on so you don't hit the record button so you don't miss an episode of Sports Gambling Podcast Live. Get in on the Patreon Pick'em this week, giving away a Halloween prize pack, complete with some sweet Halloween merch. Got you covered there, and
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean at Second the Money Green. He's Ryan.
Sean, Billy Baller came back with a follow-up. Dallas Goedert, Nico Collins. I like that the best.
Oh, that is great. Kramer, let it ride.